So I was accused the other day of bending reality to match my emotions. And this surprised me because the person who was accusing me of this was religious. I'm not used to hearing this argument from someone who's religious. They accused me of this because I had said the history of the church is evil. Now, in her mind, that could not possibly be true because there's no way I knew the whole history of the church. There's no way I took into context all the stuff that they've done. And so I was accused of bending reality itself to fit my inner emotions, that I must be raging mad inside. So this is typically people call people triggered. So I do not think the history of the church is anything but evil, and it's evil again and again and again. Crusades, witch hunts, sexual abuse, and they don't ever clean up any of it, and they keep relying on the same old tired excuses. We're working on it, or it's not religion itself, it's flawed humans, or that's religion, not Jesus. They have every excuse in the book, and every generation it keeps happening. And you don't see it happening until it's too late, and then the next generation is awed by all the propaganda. So yes, I think the history of the church is outright evil, because I've actually studied history. I'm a homeschool mom. I've read more history curriculums than I care to, actually, because history is extremely violent, and after a while it gets to me to read that much history. But I was super surprised by this argument because that argument is made also by Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand's objectivism proposes to stand for truth. And Ayn Rand says your feelings, and she always says, I support reason independent of your feelings, your whims, your intuition. Apparently people just accept this at face value. Of course it's independent of your feelings, but this argument in and of itself is gaslighting. It's saying your emotions you are too clouded by emotions to see correctly. I however, can. Now here's Ayn Rand's quote. Such men, and she had been talking about certain philosophies before this, such men do not judge the truth of a statement by its correspondence to reality. They judge reality by its correspondence to their feelings. Now I'm guessing this quote resonates with a lot of people because they've met people who cannot think clearly. They've met people who just twist things in their mind. They've probably met highly disordered people. Probably cluster B personalities, borderline personality disorder or narcissistic personality disorder. They have to lie constantly to maintain their they have a lot of issues. But feelings themselves are not antagonistic to reason. In fact, research suggests that feelings enhance reason, because if you're caught, if there was a tornado coming at you right now, you would get damn smart. People are very much influenced, and my own child development work shows that there needs to be a spark, an emotion for people to kind of be interested in learning something. So, but at any rate, this argument that you're too emotionally flooded. Now, the truth is that person was too emotionally flooded. This person has a vested interest in their religion. And I argue that being morally committed to an idea is much more dangerous to objectivity than natural feelings are. It is nearly impossible to get someone to leave something that they have decided is morally right. And that's been my experience with objectivists. I can barely put a dent in objectivist thinking. I call this moral bias now. And my book is going to be the moral bias of objectivism. So, so feeling, but this argument that your feelings, the problem is feelings, and you're just stupid. I was accused of this the other day as well, because I said that freedom is free. I said that if we knew that freedom, there's nothing more than free than freedom. Dictatorship is expensive. I'm trying to say that if you have that mindset that it's naturally yours, it's not this fight. And I made the argument, we've lost more freedoms in the name of the fight for freedom than had we just left it all alone. And so I was belittled. I was told I was a dreamer. I was told you're just operating on emotion, and that the problem is feelings. that feelings themselves are the problem. I'm telling you they're not. And I'm telling you this argument where they think they own the truth. I own the truth. You're too stupid to know the truth. I know the truth. And when they're accusing you of your emotions are in the way, this is a power tactic. And Ayn Rand's objectivism tries to take the entire power tactic for the entire philosophy. The entire philosophy is called objectivism, the singular truth. And not only that, and most people seem to think that, oh, well, that's fair because she says objective reality is objective. That is firm and it's not moving and floating. There's literally no one who believes that reality is anything but mostly firm. What we challenge is how our consciousness perceives it and how that can go awry and how that's put in place and how people naturally gravitate toward things or stuff like that. And you're going to have different opinions on what's important or what's not, or how things operate, or whether or not the church is evil. And and not only, but the thing is, Ayn Rand has an entire psychology, not just a philosophy. She tells you what leads to happiness. It's an achievement of your values. Duh. She tells you how emotions operate. They're a product of your subconscious ideas. Now, these things are highly debatable, but I can't put a dent into objectivists because they think they own objective truth, which to them means I just believe there's a reality out there. But then Ayn Rand floods it with all this other stuff that's highly controversial, and I can't get them to break it from that because they're still operating on this idea that objectivism is objective truth. And they think that all that stuff that Rand said is just common sense. I cannot penetrate them I keep trying. Maybe I've put a small dent in them. I don't know. But okay. So anyway, feelings are not in the way of reason. Not feelings themselves. Cognitive bias, moral bias, personality disorders, those are in the way of rationality, but not feelings themselves. And I'd like to see this idea of calling people triggered or they bend reality to their emotions. I'd like to see these arguments die because that is narcissistic abuse. So my website is Ex-Objectivist.com. My YouTube channel is Ex-Objectivist. Thanks for watching.